whatever. So, I mean, it's not always hitting on strangers.
I'm sure you've been asked this question before, but this was kind of, but prior to this conversation, this was kind of my question, in terms of like dealing with the topic of incels. My question was, why spend the time, either angry, or talking to other people who are angry about not being in a relationship. And granted, I know this is me generalizing the entire community as a whole. I fully admit that. Like I said, this is prior to this conversation, but why wouldn't they spend that time doing the things that they need to work on the areas where they're having an issue, whether it be they're too shy, or maybe going to the gym and repping out that anger instead of typing it out. I'm sure you've been asked that question before. How would you answer something like that?
Well, it's a very valid question. First of all, are so depressed that they don't have the willpower to do anything, or they feel that it wouldn't work, or that it doesn't even help, just as a improvement in itself, having nothing to do with girls, right? They just feel it doesn't work, or it doesn't matter. But a lot of other people actually do feel that, and they do what it's called looks maxing. It's just a lingo, but it just means improving your looks, going to the gym, eating healthy, which also improves your life, on the side, because it's just a good thing to do in itself. So it's not that we spend all the time on the forum. I certainly myself like reading a lot, and I try to improve myself in many areas. But there was one more thing I wanted to say. What was it?
I have a question.
Oh, right. Yeah, you can ask it, but let me just finish this little point.
No, yeah, please finish. Please finish.
Thank you. And is that you say, why spend all this time on the forum? Well, something that I want to say is that in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, love, companionship, and friendship, and even sex is there at the bottom of the pyramid. So it's quite a basic need. Not sex necessarily, right? You can live without sex, but man is a social animal, yeah. So it's a very core need of a person. Therefore, it's understandable that it would be in the mind of a person for a long time, something that is recurring. So that's why the forum exists, because I don't want to say that it's like super important, but it's clearly something that is important.
It gives you community. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, Christy?
Yeah, my question was, and I'm sincere in this because I don't know, but if a person identifies, if a guy identifies as an incel, and a woman he's not attracted to is hitting on him, and he turns down the relationship, is he still? Like, I wonder how much of this is, are you, because I think sometimes too, there's, guys want to go for a certain kind of woman, and they overlook women who, maybe have a great personality but aren't their perfect ideal type. So I'm just kind of wondering, how does it work when it's coming from your rejecting advances?
That's a very good question, actually. Well, see, I can't give a definite answer here, because as human beings, everyone has a certain standard, right? Yeah. Just because you're incel doesn't mean that you are going... Right. So if you are incel, but say, I don't want to stereotype people, but let's just say a 1 out of 10 girl in terms of appearance hits on you, right? And you want, you like somewhat more attractive girls, and you reject that girl. Are you still incel? Well, actually, I'm not sure of the answer. I guess it depends on the person. I would say that if the girl hits on you, then perhaps you are not, but I wouldn't be sure.
That is a good question. Very good question.
Fair enough. I don't know is a perfectly acceptable answer when you don't know. So yeah, fair enough.
Sure. 0132 was Alec Minassian part of your forum? Thank you for the super chat.
No, he never was. And actually, he only talked about Sergeant 4chan. Has nothing to do with my username, by the way. He just mentioned 4chan. He never mentioned incels. And I also saw his picture. He wasn't that unattractive. I'm sure he could get girls if he really wanted to. So again, I don't think he was incel. Just the media portrayed him as one, even though he never used the word incel. Just
Can I ask,
sensationalism.
what does a guy have to look like to make you go, yeah, he's definitely an incel? Because you kind of dismiss these guys as, because I don't know. I mean, it's really
He's
subjective.
fine.
And I'm just thinking a lot of people who are incels are actually, fine-looking guys. They just don't feel confident.
All right. So,
or
first of all,
they're a disability, but they've got that great personality that people connect with.
Right. So, I'm not saying my standards of what someone needs to be attractive is not out of the common. I don't think anyone in this chat besides me, because you can see my picture, is an attractive. You're all fine. So in terms of whether a person is attractive or not, everyone, irrespective of race, religion, or age, can know whether a person is attractive or not objectively. Even babies, they take 13 milliseconds in knowing whether a person is attractive or not. They actually, if you put an attractive man with a mask of an attractive man and a mask with an unattractive man side by side, the baby will immediately look towards the attractive person. I suppose it has to do with symmetry and youthfulness and certain evolutionary traits that we like in people. So objectively, we can know whether someone is attractive or not. Of course, then you have certain things like I like brunettes and I like blondes, and I like short people and I like tall people. Within a certain parameter, we can say I like this person more and you like that one more. But overall, attractiveness is a certainly objective science within certain parameters. Yeah.
Can I actually now? Can I do one of those as a woman kind of speeches?
Yeah.
So I can't talk about all women, but I can talk about my experiences. And while I think I do have a certain type, like David Tennant, like long, thin, lanky, definitely like bird-like nose, geeky, nerdy, bookish, D&D playing, video game playing, right? That was my type. And in terms of my experience, and I'm pretty old. I've met a lot of people, and I have been I found people attractive without following up on it. I think anyone who lives long enough can know what that means, right? For me, it was never like, you're so gorgeous, I don't care about what you say. It was always a personal connection. And so even though studies are done in labs with visuals and they're using EvoPsych ideas, which is highly unfalsifiable in a lot of ways, I know the baby stuff, there is a benefit for being attractive for anybody, man or woman. There's a social benefit to being attractive. That's not disputed. But the idea that relationships are so heavily focused on attractiveness, I have to say personally, that's not been my experience. I've sometimes been surprised at the people I've been attracted to because their personality makes them my type. Does that make sense?
Well, of course, your opinion is certainly valid.
Yeah, that's just
of course.
As the one woman in the room who's attracted to men, So.
Right. I mean, I could talk about my own personal experiences, but I don't want to bring the I into the we, right?
Fair enough.
All that I've said here is about the community and the world in general, as we know it. Of course, you will find certain people who are unattractive and they have a great sex and romantic life, and you will find, I don't know, girls who like ugly people, ugly boys, and you have everything in human life, right?
And the key is to going out, and meeting people so that you have the opportunity for those experiences, which kind of means getting off the internet and going out. And even if you don't want to necessarily go out and be social, be in social places with people you feel comfortable with, because they'll introduce you to new people. So yeah, I think that's positive.
Do you have do gay incels exist? Is that a thing?
Well, actually, you can do the experiment yourself. If you swipe on Tinder, if you swap on Tinder, like your preference to males, actually you will get like tons of males. It's like real people who are interested in relationships. Yeah, like I just tried it because it has nothing to do. Like I got like 100 matches right away.
Oh, I'm actually gay. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I was sitting here thinking like,
really?
I was just sitting.
Really?
Yeah, I was just.
Now you tell us.
Shut up! I was just sitting here thinking, like, okay, guys are are super horny all the time. Is it possible to have a gay incel? Like, could that be a thing? So, I don't know. I don't know if on like your forum you've had any like run-ins with people who are openly gay and call themselves an incel, or how that works.
Well, I don't know if this counts.
Yeah, but
I had, sorry, I could speak from, again, personal experience. I have a gay friend, and I guess you could maybe say, he wanted a long-term relationship, but he was really not finding anyone, and occasionally he would hook up, and for a long, so I don't know if that's a yes or no, but.
And what would you say to that, Sarge?
But of course, he wasn't black-pilled in any way,
Sure.
Right. Well, I was actually going to answer your question, Kyle, regarding if we found any gay people on the forum. We actually have had a couple. Sadly, we banned them because, as I said, it's guys in general are very horny, and it's kind of easy to hook up. So, I believe I'm not particularly gay myself, but I believe that it's fairly easy for gay males to find relationships. So we do not allow them. As long as they don't talk about it. If they don't say anything, they're fine.
Relationships or sex, though? That's because that was a key distinction earlier.
Good point. Well, I guess if you can find one, then it leads to the other, right? I'm not sure.
Well, theoretically,
none of the relationships I've had. Yeah,
theoretically.
But the logic for straight guys, though, was that they could actually have relationships and be in the forums.
Would I be a gay cell?
As I said, as long as you are black-pilled, which means that you won't go out of your way to tell us that we are wrong in things. As long as you if you give science-backed facts, that's fine. But if you just go out of your way to give us platitudes, we're going to kick you out because you're not black-pilled. But if you're married or gay or anything, you can be in the forum as long as you don't talk about it.
I took the
no one wants to hear about that.
I took the rainbow pill. I like all of them.
Yeah. That's fine.
Take the rainbow pill, everyone. Take the rainbow pill.
The
way, the live chat for some reason is blowing up with Kyle. You're really gay, Kyle. You're gay. You know this. Stop. Listen. Your mother and father told you about this. Okay, we have guests here, and you are acting up. So I need you to pull yourselves together, chat. Pull yourselves together. You can do this. Okay, I've got two more.
Is amazing in the chat. Yeah.
Two more super chats to read. Noble Athenian says, "Get over it." I'm not sure what that is in reference to exactly because that came in at. Well, it doesn't have the time, but it wasn't here recently, so I can't be sure what that's in reference to. And then again says, "Please get Shannon in to round this up." Shannon knows that she can come in. This is her second home, so
carte blanche anytime.
Yeah. But thank you guys both for coming in and having this talk. This went. I'm going to be honest with both of you. This went miles smoother than I thought it would. I thought that
the Twitter dumpster fire was more lit than this. I was pleasantly surprised, actually.
Well, that's because the drama people were out.
We had braced ourselves for quite a.
Can imagine why.
Yeah.
Well, you're both on completely ends of the spectrum, and so usually it's our experience that when you put those two different ends in the same room, it always ends with one of them getting kicked off, always. But this went rather well. So
very pleasant. Yes, Serge. That's how you pronounce it, right, Serge? Is it Serge?
Sarge.
Oh, sorry?
Sarge. Yeah, I got to admit, you're very well spoken, and you had a lot of answers that I hadn't even thought about before. So I was very impressed, to be honest with you.
Actually, a lot of people tell me that. Yeah.
You both. I think you both came in a mindset. I think that, and this is me just completely thinking that your ideologies would cause you both to get either too passionate or too heated in the moment, but you both kind of stayed very well stuck to your gun. So that's impressive. So yeah, thank you both. Steve, anything you want to say, wrap up, announcements? any of that sort of thing before we say